Without a jockey on board to be caught by the clerk of the course horse within 200 metres of the barrier, it means you should be 100 to 1 shot too, but she's just belting around here, coming into the straight now. Here at Randwick, there's going to be a delay for sure. Number 12, she will be a late scratching.
Yeah, she's already been scratched, but it's just a matter of time now. They must catch her, of course, so that she doesn't interfere with the field before the race starts. But that's a late scratching. Number 12's Bealsville, and reduces the field to 11 runners in the opening race.
Yes, no, that doesn't make things easy. Jockey Terry Jones, you can see him behind the gates there now. He was in the black with the white spots, purple sleeves and cap, and Bealsville hasn't been caught as yet. She will be. The clerk of the course is a great horseman. They're very good in a situation like this. They will treat the safety of the horse first and then make sure that jockey is well, of course, but the horse will be the first priority. They'll give her time to settle down and then they'll lasso her in.
And while we've got a minute, Simon, Brian York, the Queenslander, is riding the favourite Falante in the Epsom this afternoon. A few moments ago, before he went out for the first, Andrew Voss caught up with him. Here they are.
Well, Brian, on Falante today, the favourite for the Epsom. You certainly know the highs and lows of racing in 1996.
Yeah, I've had them both. Yeah, I've had a couple of bad accidents over the winter, and they were pretty bad. But I've come back good, and I'm riding winners again, so it's great.
And it just goes to show, if you're prepared to bide your time, sometimes things fall into your lap, and that's happened with a suspension of Mick Dittman. How did it come about that you're on the back of Falante?
Yeah, as you say, because of Mick Dittman's suspension, he's been riding the horse, and he's got an association with him, and unfortunately for him, he got suspended last week, and the ride became available, so I was lucky enough to be the one.
The parade ring will be the first time you've actually been on the back of Falante?
Yeah, that's right. I haven't ridden him before, never been on his back, but he looks a very straightforward horse to ride. He's quiet, nothing wrong with him, so it's not going to make any difference having been on him the first time.
And riding for the White family, that's an association that goes back a few years?
Yeah, I've been doing a bit of riding for them over the last few years, ridden a few winners for them, so yeah, it's nothing new.
All right, Brian, good luck with Falante.
Thanks.
Well, there we are. Chris Weston, former jockey, now one of the clerks of the course at Randwick, did a super job in grabbing Bealsville. She caused a bit of bother, but as Simon told you, these boys are expert horsemen, and they got hold of her. It's just a matter of now of the boys getting Bealsville off the track, which will only take another 20 or 30 seconds, and then we'll be ready to run in the opening race on the program, which is the Kennan Now You Can handicap of 1,200 metres for 3-year-old fillies. There's $50,000 in prize money. 30. They're racing.
Off and running. Zojo caught flat-footed from an inside gate, is last to leave the gate. Echo Thea is away brilliantly and hit the ground running in front of Only Love. White Queen is away quickly, and then Amplitude and Zojo is improving rapidly along the fence, followed by Law of Logic, Tipsy Feeling. Mar Flight is well back in the early stages, and then Jess Stress, followed by Tragic Star and Like a Plumber's last as they go over the crossing at the 800 mark. Echo Thea the leader by more than a length to White Queen on the inside of Only Love. 2 lengths away, Amplitude on the outside of Zojo. A gap to Law of Logic and then Jess Stress. Mar Flight is about 8 lengths off the lead. 3 lengths away, Tragic Star, and 6 to Like a Plum, who can't keep in touch as they come around the corner. Into the straight, Echo Thea the leader. In second place is the grey filly, White Queen. Only Love third, followed closely by Amplitude, Law of Logic. Mar Flight is now taken to the extreme outside and is being wound up by Lenny Beasley and is coming with a strong run. Echo Thea tackled by White Queen on the outside now. Mar Flight is coming after them. Echo Thea and White Queen. Mar Flight is struggling. Her run has ended. Echo Thea tackled again by White Queen. Beatman's throwing everything at the grey filly, and he lifted her over the line. White Queen by a head to Echo Thea with Only Love in third place. Mar Flight looked the winner and died on her run. Tragic Star made up many lengths. Then Law of Logic, Jess Stress, followed by Amplitude and Zojo. Like a Plumber's last in the opening event on Epsom Day. And champion jockey Darren Beedman, ladies and gentlemen, needs only one more winner today to reach an important career milestone of 1,000 career winners. He is now on 99.5 wins after getting White Queen home in the first event of the day for the Bart Cummings stable, and Beedman's power over the last 100 metres played a major part in that win. But he needs one more to crack the Galloping Grand, 1,000 winners, which will put Darren in a very elite group of Australian jockeys.
Okay, there's the finish still. We've missed that first replay, but we'll pick up this one. Ekathea in front. Gee whiz, I thought she was going to hang on. As soon as I started to cheer, she couldn't carry my 15 stone. White Queen come along, Darren Beedman riding in his brilliant form and grabbed her right on the post. And if you backed White Queen, 330 and 160. Second, number 7, Ekathea, will pay 320. And third, number 3, Only Love in the pink colours, will pay $2.70. There's the head on. Daryl McClellan, hands and heels on Ekathea. She was holding the big filly, the grey filly. Then just in the last 50 metres, which I did mention before the race when I was going through the totes, she can be just a little bit weak at the finish. Along comes White Queen and grabbed her right on the line. Good luck to Darren Beedman, but I think I'd have preferred my pocket to have been a little bit fatter. Not to be, there's plenty of time left. And as we have a good look at White Queen, we'll take another break from Randwick on the Wide World of Sports.
In Sydney, and that was the Cannon Now You Can handicap. White Queen paid $3.30 and $1.60. Number 7 paid $3.20, Ekathea, and number 3, Only Love, $2.70. New South Wales Dividends. Hope you got yourself a winner there. And of course, Darren Beedman rode so very, very well in that race. The first race of the afternoon here at Randwick. All right, now let's go back to Flemington. Ken Callender and Simon O'Donnell have the market on race 2.
Yeah, thanks very much, Kenny. The Concept Sports Stakes of 1,419 metres today for 3-year-old colts and geldings. Simon, you know these better than me. Want to win this?
Yeah, look, I think it's pretty hard to go past the Freedman camp again. Portland Player's been an excellent form. It's a last start winner at Flemington, likes the track. Whether it likes the ground, that's the question mark you can put over it. The interesting runner also is Alpha. It's come over from Tasmania, won 7 from 7 in Tasmania. It's won another one on the mainland since it's come over. It's now won 8 from 9. It's in the Bart Cummings camp. It's well worth a little bit of a spec as well.
Okay, let's look at these prices. Our punters have rallied to Alpha. As I look at the board, Lord Ted has actually come in from $12 on the tab to $10, but Alpha at the same time has come into $2.80 from $3. A big firmer Alpha, Rodney Griffiths riding him. $14 for Cool Choice, TAB number 3. Rustic Dream is showing at $21. Just check down the bottom of the board a bit there. Singing the Blues at $26. Sober Affair at $8. Expressage $11. Maximal at $10. Portland Player is out from $4.50 to $5. Stephen King riding him. That's the horse that Simon spoke of. And then we've got a few roughies. Kings of Far, Michael Carson at $34. Paris Archway is the same price, although I believe Paris Archway is getting out a little bit closer to 40 to 1 now. Poetic Show at $15 and Rathsala at $34. Tenor Per Lane is scratched this morning, so it's not competing. Okay, the favourites, Alpha at $2.80, Portland Player at $5 and Lord Ted at $10. Simon, the punters are sticking with Alpha after the last start win on the mainland?
Yes, they certainly have. It's a gelding by El Moxie. Its record in Tasmania is simply outstanding. 7 from 7, and obviously they bought it over here. The owners were quoted in the paper as saying the other day that they wanted it in very good hands, the best, and that is Bart Cummings. That's why they've sent it to Bart, and by gee, he's done well with it since it's 7 of 12 at Flemington, its first start over here in the Ascot Vale, which is a very difficult race, then came out and won the McDonald Stakes, which is a listed race at Caulfield. So it hasn't taken him long to find his feet over here in Melbourne.
Yeah, and the racing's stronger in Tasmania than a lot of mainlanders realise. They're certainly keen on their racing, the Apple Islanders, and they're running a bit late at Flemington, probably something to do with that problem before the first race, which ran a few minutes late, and now we're actually just right on starting time now for the second. So horses are behind the barrier over at the 1,400 metre start. I don't think it'll be long before they start to go in. Now, if you're looking for these horses, Alpha races in all orange. As Simon told you, he's trained by Bart Cummings, and he's starting from a wide barrier out in 13 of the 14 runners, or with the bottom one, Tarn Per Lane scratch, he comes into 12 of 13. Now, Lord Ted races in Lloyd Williams' normal colours. There he is in centre screen now, of blue with the navy blue with the white armbands and the white cap, just going behind the barrier there. He's to be ridden by Greg Hall, who rides most of the Lloyd Williams team. And the other one that Simon liked, Portland Player, Stephen King's mount, is yellow with red striped sleeves and cap. And that, of course, is the famous Kingston Town colours of Mr. and Mrs. David Haynes.
And pretty popular after the first two, the Haynes' own Prattler, which won the first. So
and they've also got that good mare in later on, Simon.
They certainly have. Rose of Portland later on in the Turnbull Stakes. So the Haynes' could be in for a pretty good day. You could see a lot more of those yellow, red stripes and red cap.
Alpha on the tote, fluctuating between 280, 290, just under 2 to 1. Might pay around about 2 to 1 if he's lucky enough to win for you in the orange. Looks like it's not raining at Flemington at the moment, but all those barrier attendants have still got their jackets on, Simon.
Probably another one, and this is going on form from last week, a colt called Maximal, number 8. He won at Moonee Valley his first start back this preparation. Probably a little late coming into spring or contention for some of the big races, but a horse that won very well last week out of the Pat Highland stable. Eddie Wilkinson to ride. I thought it was pretty impressive. I don't know whether he'll measure up to this standard. Today's going to be a good way of finding out. He's going to run in the navy, red and yellow hoops, and he's got a yellow cap. So should be pretty outstanding to be able to see those colours, the navy, red and yellow hoops and the yellow cap. That horse has got a good chance as well.
Among those horses behind the barrier, the two furthest to the right in the orange, just going past the other horse is Alpha, and now the horse over there with the blue with the white cap is Lord Ted. Lord Ted had excellent form in New Zealand before Mr. Williams purchased him to race him in Australia.
A little bit of Melbourne information. See those cars going over the bridge, Ken?
Yep.
They're not throwing up as much water as I thought. We may get the rest of the afternoon being dry in Melbourne. Never,
never, never. Okay, hello. What's his another horse coming around the fronts of the barrier there? He'll go around the back and be joined up in the chute. They go across the back of the chute there, so obviously they're just waiting for that late arrival to come round from the saddling paddock. The attendants are getting up. We haven't seen the light flash yet. I think there's still that one horse to come along. Yeah,
it's been a day of mix-ups really so far, hasn't it?
That's Sydney and Melbourne.
Sydney and Melbourne. There's been horses getting loose and jockeys hopefully not getting hurt but not being able to stay on their back. But we shouldn't be far away from the start in Melbourne.
We hope that this rain does stay away, particularly when such a great race as the Turnbull Stakes Day today. The Turnbull Stakes is going to have a huge bearing on the Caulfield Cup, which will of course be run in a fortnight, and you'll see it all on the wide world of sport. We're going to have a big Melbourne coverage this year. Caulfield Guineas next week, the Caulfield Cup the week after, and the Cox Plate the week after that. Okay, let's go down to John Russell at Flemington. It seems they're just about ready for the second.
They're off. Good start too, and down on the inside, one of the first to jump out was Express Age, was quickly headed there by going fast along the inside is the Kings of Far, and up in the leading group is Poetic Show. Back behind them, Paris Archway going forward towards the lead with Sabre Affair. Maximal getting into a handy position, being followed by Cool Choice. 2 lengths further back, Portland Player, and they were being followed by Rustic Dream. A couple of lengths further back in the field, getting well out of its ground there as they come down the side. Rat Salar and Alpha's a long way back as they come down the side, and Lord Ted is one of the tail enders. Sabre Affair takes the leader, 2 lengths ahead of Poetic Show, 1.5 lengths Maximal. Cool Choice. Paris Archway's on the rails, 1.5 lengths Portland Player. They were being followed closely by Express Age and Alpha coming around them in a hurry. Rustic Dream is deeper on the tracker, and a fair way back to Rat Salar, followed by Kings of Far, who's a long way out of its ground as they round the home turn. Sabre Affair is the leader. Coming around the home turn, Sabre Affair about 1 length to Poetic Show, getting up along the inside, Paris Archway, and further back along the outside, Cool Choice is running on, so is Maximal. A good long gap then to Portland Player, Alpha down the outside, and they're followed at the head of the others then, well back in the field by Rustic Dream, and back behind them Lord Ted from a long way back. 250 metres left to go. Here comes Alpha in the all-orange colours. It's coming after these leaders very quickly and going like a winner, Alpha. Alpha's hit the front with 150 to go. Is clear now of Cool Choice and Sabre Affair, Rustic Dream, Lord Ted, but Alpha will win it well in the run home, and Alpha comes away to score well, about 2.5 lengths, Cool Choice, and on the outside, Rustic Dream in a photo for second and third. They're followed next time in the event there at the head of the others by Wellback Maximal, Sabre Affair behind them with Lord Ted, and they were followed by Paris Archway, and Portland Player finished well back there, followed next home by Kings of Far, Poetic Show, Express Age, and last of all, Rat Salar.
Well, this fellow Alpha might be the best thing to come out of Tasmania since Maxie Walker, because he just joined in here as though the others were nailed to the ground, dashed past them and said, "See you later, guys, here I go."
He's probably...
Sorry, Simon.
He was probably 15 or 20 lengths off them on the turn. I suppose very much a typical Bart Cummings run. Settled early over the 1400 and he did a lap around the field, but he doesn't mind a bit wet underfoot from Tassie, I can tell you.
OK, we'll watch it closely for second and third. That's Cool Choice in second place now. Rustic Dream, Darren Gauci grabbing him down the outside. No doubt about the winner, Alpha TAB number 2. Close for second and third between 4 Rustic Dream on the outside, who might have nailed 3 Cool Choice on the rails for second right on the post. OK, that was the story of race 2 at Flemington. Let's take another break on the Wide World of Sports.
Welcome back to the Randwick Racecourse on Epsom Day. Big crowd in, about 26 degrees. Absolutely glorious. We've got one race out of the way. Fashions on the field has been happening behind us. Everyone out in their best gear. It is just a marvellous place to be. Still a big card of events to go. OK, let's now have a look at the divvies from race number 2 at Flemington. Alpha, the Tasmanian horse, paid $2.70 and $1.50 for a win. Number 4, second, Rustic Dream, $5.80, and Cool Change, number 3, paid $4.60. OK, the second race on the card here at Randwick is the Canonbury Stakes. Ken Callender and Simon O'Donnell has an early market.
Yeah, thanks very much, Max. And the Canterbury's been a very famous race over the years, been won by such top liners as Time and Tide and Bogan Road. And, well, what's to win this? Only a couple of years ago, Strategic, who went on to win Group 1 races, won the Canterbury. OK, number 1, Dance Beat, number 2, Raging Tyrant are both out. Number 3, Serene Cove, $26. Bound by Silence, $16. Captain Dash, $26. Grey and Gold is $3, only 2 to 1, but he's not favourite. Grey Marger at $31, Hockney at $10, got a good chance. Jervis Jewel at $41, Newspec at $41, Pennines $2.80 is the favourite. Rocket to Mars was scratched, Scottsdale $11, Tertiary $67, Wenders $17. They tell me he goes very quickly. I've tipped number 6, Grey and Gold, and Simon, you got a fancy?
Yeah, it's a bit hard to go past Grey and Gold. It's not like the Inghams to come up with a precocious 2-year-old that's going to go very well. Pennies, Masqué, Moreland Maid, perfectly bred. I'll just keep an eye on the 2 of them. OK, back to Kenny Sutcliffe.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Simon. Shortly, we'll meet Sydney's new crop of 2-year-old colts in the Canonbury Stakes. The fillies debuted on Wednesday in the Jim Crack Stakes. And Leslie Tapsell was trackside at Randwick.
For racing's newest recruits, the Jim Crack Stakes is something like first day at school. It's an education also for punters getting their first real look at spring's crop of 2-year-old fillies. Ready to go. Barrier trial form had singled out 4 of the 9 runners, the best backed by far, the latest from John Hawke's stable, Absurd. The late mail was for Brian Guy's starting, narrowly beaten in her only barrier trial. There was plenty of support too for Gay Waterhouse's Pretty Buttons, a Danehill filly hand-picked and co-owned by TJ Smith. Like Pretty Buttons, the New Zealand-bred Dan Talar had drawn wide. From there, both needed a sharp start.
Off and running in the Jim Crack, and a little slow Bella Guardia. Manhattan didn't jump all that well, and Dantalar and Pretty Buttons, the outside brigade, are away brilliantly, and they're trying to get to the fence. Absurd booting up to hold them out, although the grey filly Dantalar will just about get there. No, she won't. Absurd holds the inside running. Pretty Buttons relegated to third, and then Snapshots and Fancy a Joy, followed by Starting Well Back, Festive Flight and Manhattan, and last Bella Guardia. These 2 leaders are burning grass on the turn. Dantalar on the outside and Absurd on the fence. They're about 4 in front of Pretty Buttons, flat to the boards, and then Snapshots followed by Starting and Fancy a Joy. Well in the straight, Absurd with the inside running, and Dantalar. They're about 3 lengths on Pretty Buttons, running on gamely, followed by Snapshots. Dantalar looks to be a narrow leader over Absurd. 2 lengths away now, Pretty Buttons, who's starting to run home strongly. She's going to get home with a rush. Dantalar clear near the post, getting pretty tied. Pretty Buttons in second place, trying a hard out, but she won't pick up the grey from Newcastle, and Dantalar Beat Pretty Buttons in the Jim Crack Stakes. Absurd will get...
By Volksrad out of Frosting, Dan Talar went for $52,000 at the Karaki Yearling sales. Judged on this first-up success, both trainer Paul Perry and jockey Glenn Boss believe it could be a bargain buy.
No, it was a good run, Leslie, wasn't it? I was a bit concerned with the barrier draw, you know, but she overcome that fairly easily.
The speed was on from the outset, and for her to maintain that sprint right to the post was a very good effort, I thought.
Fair bit of potential there?
Yeah, no doubt. She looks very filey, and to me, the appearance of her looks like she's going to mature and grow. She looks like a pretty solid filly when she's finished growing.
Nothing finished better than Pretty Buttons, the run impressing Waterhouse.
Very much so. It was a super run. She came from probably 4 lengths off the winner, and she motored home to be beaten 3/4 of a length.
Looks like she might look forward to a bit more ground.
I think she will appreciate a longer distance, I'm sure of it.
But aboard beaten favourite Absurd, jockey Darren Beedman could offer few excuses.
A little bit disappointing over the concluding stages of the race. I thought she'd sort of kick on a little bit better than what she did do. But, yeah, she kept trying hard, but just wasn't good enough.
And, of course, for the pick of the 2-year-olds, the big spring prize is a silver slipper to be run at Rose Hill Gardens on October 26. Coming up, we search for a new star when the colts tackle the Canterbury Stakes.
Back at Randwick Live on Epsom Day, terrific crowd, lovely conditions, just ideal spring weather, as Max said before, 26 degrees. We're getting ready for the Canterbury Stakes, and this should be a terrific race for the 2-year-olds. We may find a star here this afternoon. We're just minutes away from the start of that race too here at Randwick. Before that, Simon O'Donnell is with leading trainer John Hawkes. Simon?
Thanks, Ken. Yeah, we'll try and find a star, and a man who can tell us all about them is John Hawkes. You've got 2 runners in the race, Hockney and Pennines. John, can you give us a little leg up?
Yeah, they're both lovely colts, Simon. I think Pennines is most probably the one that's, you know, perhaps got the edge on the other horse, but in saying that, there's not a great deal, you know, between them, but the other one being a Quest for Fame. I think the older he gets, the better he'll get. But they're both lovely colts, but Pennines is perhaps a bit in front of the other one.
This is the first really lot of Quest for Fames we've seen. Are you happy the way they're all coming along as a breed?
Yeah, they're a lovely breed of horse. You know, we ran second with them, one in the Jim Crack or the Colts division, you know, first up. And they're lovely horses. They've got great attitudes, and they'll be even better as 3-year-olds, I feel.
I'm not going to let you get away without giving us an update on my favourite horse, Octagonal.
Yeah, he's superb, Simon. I was down there in Melbourne the last few days, and he looks fantastic, and he's trained on terrific, and I think he's really right back on track again now. Even his attitude seems a bit brighter, so extremely pleased with the horse.
And another one of your stable stars, Anthems?
Yeah, he's down in Melbourne. He worked lovely on Thursday morning when I was there. He handled that going, no problem at all, and you know, his second run was perhaps a little bit disappointing, but I'm sure he'll bounce back, and we'll go into the Guineas, maybe the underdog now, which, you know, might be an advantage.
You look like you're a little bit brighter after Octagonal winning a couple of weeks ago at Caulfield.
Yeah, it's been a, you know, a bit of a hard road, sort of, you know. I mean, he's a great people's, you know, horse, and everybody wanted to see, you know, and get back on the winning list, and he is a true champion. So, and it's great for racing. But sure, they were, you know, a couple of weeks there. Really wasn't a lot wrong with the horse, nothing wrong with the horse. But anyway, we've got him back on track now, and hopefully he'll continue on from here.
Well, that's good to hear, and we look forward to seeing him again soon. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Simon.
Well, that was John Hawkes, and the man that knows all about betting here at Randwick this afternoon. He knows all about it also at Flemington, but he's going to tell you all about Randwick. Ken Callender.
Thanks very much, Simon. Yes, well, I went close in the first, didn't I? But seconds are no good. They've got to be first over the line. So let's have a look at what the TAB is showing here on race 2 at Randwick, the Canterbury Stakes. Both Dance Beat and Raging Torrent are scratched. Few changes since I last spoke to you. Serene Cove at $26, Bound by Silence at $15. Number 5, Captain's Dash, just over $21. Grey and Gold getting out a little bit on the tote, $3 last time we spoke, out to $3.50 now. Number 7, Grey Marger at $31. Number 8, Hockney is into $7.50, might come in a bit more yet. Jervis Jewel at $51, New Spec at $41. Solid Pennines, the horse you heard John Hawkes say he preferred of his to $2.80. That's if you put $1 on the tote, he wins, you get $2.80 back. Rocket to Mars is a scratching. Scottsdale, he'll be coming in a little bit more into $8.50. One of the Bill Mitchell team. Tertiary is 100 to 1 chance. And Wenders from Canberra Brian York replacing Glenn Boss on him. He's into $17. Not an easy race as we look at some vision there. Simon, anything grab you in the yard?
Yeah, it's not an easy race, Ken. You know, the 2-year-olds having their first, or a lot of them their first start, you've basically got to take trial form, and that's difficult. Young 2-year-olds learning about the racing game. Look, Pennines, you've probably got to follow the money a little bit. It's been very well backed. It's bred in the pink. Masque Moreland Maid, I mentioned that before. He's a beautiful bred colt. Also Darren Beedman on board. He's got the confident jockey as well. Now the Gay Waterhouse stable, they're very confident with Grey and Gold. Again, bred very much in the pink. Danehill Lady Madonna. Well, let's hope for one thing that she keeps her clothes on for a start. And you can see Grey and Gold going around. He's a grey colt and purple, white stars and cap. And we'll see. You know, I think we're going to see an interesting race. It's great, very exciting to see these 2-year-olds stepping out for the first time. Yeah, Moreland Maid, the mother of Pennines, of course, is also the mother of Love of Mary, who Simon would know from Melbourne. But Shane Dye, who's usually with us on these big days, has been having a little bit of trouble with his health after a lot of wasting. But Andrew Voss caught up with him. Let's see how he is.
Well, it's a croaky Shane Dye today. Some people would say that's a good thing. You have to shut up for a while.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I lost my voice and I had the flu the last couple of days, but it doesn't stop you from riding.
Well, a tough fight too. You're down to 48.5 for Adventurous in the Craven Plate.
Yeah, I had to lose 3 kilos, and when you do that, you pick up a virus sometimes, and I happen to pick one up.
Assertive Lass in the Flight Stakes can maintain the advantage over Dashing Eagle?
She's drawn well. She's a very good racehorse, and she's got a great chance. They're the only 2 hopes in the race.
And then in the Epsom, All Our Mob. I mean, it's just such an honest galloper. It's always competitive.
He'll run very well. He ran well the other day, and this is very hard. And he meets Volante 2.5 kilos better, so he's got a good chance.
Well, it's a champion effort just doing the interview, Shane. Thanks for that. Good luck.
Thank you, Tom.
Well, Harry Troy, another leading jockey, is doing the honours for us behind the barrier. We haven't got long left, Harry, but anything catch your eye?
Well, Ken, yes, the second favourite, I think, Grey and Gold, it looks lovely and relaxed, and it does look the goods. It's a bit hard, as we say, without disclosed racing form. I've got to go for Grey and Gold. It just looks lovely and relaxed, and like it'll handle the assignment well. Couldn't go past Pennines for second. Pennines, the number 11, it does look well. Going for a roughie here, number 15, TAB 15, Wenders, about to be placed in. I like the look of this thing, and it might run a nice race. Back to you, mate.
Yes, thanks, Harry. Wenders has won a barrier trial rather easily at Canberra, and he could be one to watch. And he's a brother to Discreet Lady. Now, Discreet Lady never won a lot of races, but boy, she had some pace. So he could be worth watching. And on the tote, he's still showing at pretty big odds. Wenders, down to $13, was $17 earlier, has come down to $13. Righto, 1 or 2 more to go in for the Canterbury. It does sometimes take a little bit longer for these young horses because they're not as experienced. That's Tertiary there, just the chestnut on the left of screen. Tertiary is one of the John Morris team, and John Power riding him. He's by Terce, the former Triple Crown winner, but here's another one giving a little bit of trouble before he goes in. They'll get them all in shortly, and then we'll be off and running in the second race of the day. The favourites, if you're looking for them, TAB number 6, Grey and Gold, is a grey colt, and he races in purple with white stars and a white cap, as Simon told you earlier. Pennines races in black with a cerise cap, and the other Johnny Hawk's runner Hockney races in all cerise. And TAB number 4 there in centre screen is Kevin Moses on top of Bound by Silence, another of the Gay Waterhouse team, and it's part owned by her mother, Mrs. Valerie Smith. And Tom and Valerie Smith always have horses in the dark blue and green stripes. Okay, looks like they're still trying to get one in there. In you go, fella. Okay, they're all in. Just waiting for the jockey to remount, and we'll be off and running in the second race of the day, the Canterbury Stakes. Okie dokie, time now to go to our caller as the starter comes around. Their caller, as always, is the best in the business, Mr. John Tapp, and here he is.
This is the Canterbury Stakes.
Yeah, mate, bring it.
The third 2-year-old event of the new season. Now, Bound by Silence and Tertiary are the last couple to go up. The breeze freshens now at Royal Randwick as the starter prepares to climb onto his stand to release the field in the Canterbury. You can see those big trees over there starting to swirl in the wind. Ready for a start. Off and running in the Canonbury, and Tertiary is away quickly. Wenders very tardy to begin, and so was New Spec. Scottsdale began fast, and so did Pennines, and Hockney is scooting through into a prominent spot, followed by Grey Marger. Getting along the fence then is Serene Cove. In that bunch, Jervis Jewel. At the head of the others, Captain Dash, followed by Tertiary, bound by Silence. Well back in the field then is Wenders. At the tail of the main bunch, New Spec, and Shane Dye has retired Grey and Gold from the race. He's taking no further part. Coming around the corner, Scottsdale on the fence. Hockney is one out. 3 deep Pennines, 4 deep is Grey Marger, and it's a cavalry charge as they turn for home. Serene Cove on the fence, then Captain Dash, followed by Tertiary. On top of the hill now, and it's Pennines and Hockney with Scottsdale. They're fighting it out. Wider out, Captain Dash running on strongly. Beedman's going for the 1,000. Can he do it? He's wearing the black with a cerise cap. He's on Pennines, which is coming at stablemate Hockney. Captain Dash can't reach them. Hockney's fighting back. He's going to thwart Beedman, and Hockney by a neck on the line to Pennines. It's a Crown Lodge Quinella.